Hey, what's up guys? It's Lego Hobo 910 here with another Lego video. And in this video, I'm reviewing set number 76119, Batmobile Pursuit of the Joker. So let's get right into the review. Here is the main and only build of the set, being the Batmobile, as the name of the set very subtly suggests that it has a Batmobile in it. It's very definitely inspired by the Tim Burton Batmobile from the 80s Batman, starring Michael Keaton, of course. It is slightly different, and we will be getting a set of that. In fact, I believe it just came out. An Ultimate Collector Series $250 large one, and if you buy that, you get a Batmobile similarly scaled to this that is the Burton Batmobile. But anyway, this definitely takes inspiration from being kind of, long and sleek and short and just has similar shaping. I also think it has a bit of inspiration from the animated series Batmobile. One thing that neither of them has, though, is these large epic bat wings, which can be positioned however you want. They can be turned up and down, as well as swiveled side to side in order to get whatever position you think looks best. Personally, I think it looks best when the tip of the wing here is about halfway across the plate, and they're just slightly angled out like that. I think that looks best, personally. But if you want them, you can have them super angled out like that. You can have them sideways. You can have them straight up and down like this. You can put them really however you want them. Whatever you think looks best. One of my favorite things on the set is the hubcaps here with the the Batman logo, and it actually does come with an extra of those radar dishes, which is a nice piece. Along the front here, it uses one of these large bat pieces that come in packs, and this is actually the only one used on the set, so you get an extra of the rest of the set, 'cause they only come in the one pack. So you get all these, including these two kind of bat fan things. These, which are really nice. An extra one of those. 3 of these kind of different designed, I guess you could say newer batarangs. And then 2 of these small little bats. And it's definitely great to be getting a lot of those. And the fact that it only uses one of these, so you get the rest of the set from it. And that can just be swiveled up to reveal those. If you want, they're mostly just meant to be there as kind of background detail, and that just swivels for the way that it's connected. Something that is meant to swivel is these stud shooters here, so they can pop out of the side, and you can press them and it shoots a silver stud. And the set does come with 2 extras of those. And I like the kind of column design here along the side. And I think the stud shooters are actually fairly well concealed using the gray there. You can obviously clearly see them. They're not, like, hidden inside the build. They don't pop out a bunch and look horrible. And I also like the shaping along the front here, and that kind of nice smooth curve using the combination of these 2 pieces. One thing that I've heard a lot of complaints about that I don't have as much of an issue with is the blocky sides here, the blocky corners, because I really don't see what they could have done about it. They could have curved them a bit, but I think that would look really weird as well. And I think it being blocky actually gives it a bit of a neat aesthetic. And then it has this kind of subtle curve along the front as well as the back. And something you may have noticed is the large flame back here, that when you roll the Batmobile back and forth, the flame spins, so I can get a really cool effect if you get it going fast. It actually looks like, shooting flame out of the tailpipe. There's also a bunch of red transparent tiles there. I like the use of the alien guns to create a bit of pipe detailing there. You can see a bit of yellow behind there if you look really close, but it's not that huge of a deal seeing yellow in a Batman set. So it's not that out of color, and it's really hard to see. There's then some grill slopes here, which I think look pretty good. And then there's the main cabin here, which can just hinge open like this. A real simple build, just kind of using the 2 pieces there. And I really like the way it shapes with the kind of engine piece there. The inlet, I guess. And there's just enough room for Batman in there. And he's kind of hard to get out, as it is a bit of a deep build, and there's really no good place to grab Batman. There's also no place for his Batarang, so you just kind of throw it in the cockpit, and you can't hold it in there either. It's a pretty spacious cockpit. It's using a large printed tile there. It's a pretty common one. I believe it's used on trains most of the time. Just a couple dials and a few other things. And there's a steering wheel. I like the dark red seat. It's definitely a cool aesthetic. I don't like the placement of the studs there where Batman sits, so it does make it hard to get in, because then you have to connect him by those studs, which aren't as strong. So I would have liked if they put the studs on the front, and then had the tiles on the back, so that way he could connect easier. I also think they should have tiled up those studs just to smooth out the design a bit. It's really not that big of an issue, as it's inside the cockpit where you can't see most of the time. So anyway, overall, I think this is a pretty cool Batmobile, and is definitely one of my favorite Batmobiles I own. The set comes with 2 minifigures, of course, in a Batman set having Batman, and in a set named Batmobile Pursuit of the Joker, it has the Joker. We'll start with Batman. It's the same one in the rest of the sets in this wave. This is the first one I've gotten. This is the first Batman set out of this wave I've gotten. He uses, of course, the newer cowl that they've been using for a while, as well as a standard Batarang and standard Batman cape. I really like the torso printing for this variant, though, using the dark gray. Haven't seen one that uses dark gray kind of as the base color in a while. Normally you have light, for the previous wave it was kind of a light gray base, and then before that you had a lot of black. The last time I think I saw a dark gray base was the Justice League Batman, but I think it looks cool. I also like the design of the Bat logo there with the gold around the edge, as well as the utility belt. It's just overall pretty nicely designed Batman torso. And then there's the head underneath. Something that I like that they're doing here is, instead of just having the headband around, because, you know, the regular minifigure eyes don't line up with the eye holes, and if they did, they'd be abnormally high. So, you know, they normally put a headband around there. I like how they're using goggles instead. It looks really good, and then can be used without the mask, without looking really weird. So I like the way that looks. One complaint, though, is the printing is really, really pale. I'm just going to grab a head I have lying around, show you what color his face should be. This is the flesh tone that they're trying to mimic there. And as you can see, it is really not the same color. This is a problem LEGO's been having for quite a while now, where the printing is too light on flesh-colored things on dark heads. This isn't as bad as I've seen it before. It's fairly flesh-colored, it's just really pale. So I have seen a lot worse. This isn't horrendous, but it still should be the correct flesh tone. Anyway, he has a second head there, and I just dropped the cowl, where he's smiling, and that's just what that looks like if you turn around to be a second face. Yeah, overall, I think it's a good Batman figure. Just, once again, the problem with the flesh printing not being dark enough, that's a consistent issue that LEGO really needs to fix by just maybe applying more layers of paint. And then someone who is correctly pale, we have the Joker here. This is actually great, because it's been a while since we've gotten the Joker, surprisingly, you know, being Batman's most iconic villain. It's been a while since he's come in a set that's not either really expensive or a junior set. He comes with a silver stud shooter that shoots a green stud, and it does come with an extra green stud for him. And then he, of course, uses the classic Widow's Peak hair in green, which Joker generally uses. And I really like the face prints here. There's one with, of course, the Joker big smile. And then here's one with a more interesting facial expression that really reminds me of the Hamill Joker. Yeah, this face looks a lot like the Hamill Joker from Batman the Animated Series. You know, the classic one. I also really like the torso printing on this version of Joker. It's not just kind of the classic jacket, and this he's wearing kind of a vest, but it's very intricately detailed. If you see, there's little lavender lines on the purple there, which are kind of hard to see, but just to add a cool stitching detail. If the light shines on it right there, you can see them a bit better. Then he also has the little kind of silver chain there, the orange bow tie. It's a very cool looking Joker. I like the green arms as well. And then the detailing just kind of continues around the back with those little lavender dotted lines. As well as I like the use of a bit of magenta there. Definitely looks interesting. Anyway, I think these 2 minifigures are pretty great. And it's just great to get the Joker again, since we haven't gotten him cheaply in a while. And the version of Batman is a pretty good version. Overall, I think this is a pretty cool set, and being only $20, it's definitely worth picking up, as I'm a huge fan of the build. I know we get a lot of Batman builds, and a lot of them are kind of meh, but this is a really good Batman build, one of the best I've seen in a few years. And I also really like the minifigures there. Just, you know, classic 2 characters, good to get. Anyway, that's all from me for now, and bye.